Hello and welcome to another episode of Goa 365's Face to Face. Now the tourism season is like winding up, but more importantly we need to get ready for the next season. It's been a good season, it's been a bad season, I don't know, but it looks there are a lot of tourists being seen everywhere. The casinos are running full, traffic jams are there, garbage is there on the beaches, lots of stuff is happening. But to give us some more details of what actually has happened in the last season, especially since this was a big season after COVID, probably the first one, is my good friend Nilesh Shah, the president of TTAG. Nilesh, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Glenn.
It's been some time since you've come here, but we've been involved in other things, elections, XYZ. So now it's actually time to get down to industry and tourism, which is which I'm very close to in that business. But what has been the scene in the past season?
In fact, if we talk about compared to last 2 years because of COVID, which was affected, of course, domestic tourists we did well during COVID time comparatively. But the smaller hotels were suffering. Like every time we came here, we are talking about that small hotels are still suffering, and that was specifically because of the charter tourists, which is a mix of low end to high end, which use these small hotels for their stay. So fortunately for us, the charter season have started, and we have handled roughly around 342 or 340 to 350 charter flights into Goa, specifically from UK, that will be from Gatwick and from Manchester. Then from Moscow, from Russia we have handled Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan. Now these are the places where we have got the charter flights, and roughly the figures which are showing almost 70,000 tourists have come on those flights. Now if you take the 70,000 tourists, means roughly we are talking about average stay of 9 to 10 nights stay. So we are talking about almost 7 lakh room nights, which has benefited specifically more to the smaller hotels. So I think it is overall a good start. I will not say we have everybody has done extraordinary business as far as foreign tourists are concerned, but it is a good start. Add to that, we have now regular flights from Qatar, which has started daily. Oman we have a 5-day a week. Add to that, Air India has a 4-day flight from London. Of course, we have a lot of Goans who are settled there using that flights, but that will help. Then we have Air India Express 4 times a week to Dubai and back. Addition to that, Gulf Air started at the end of this month. Now this all will ultimately help into getting into foreign tourists in long term. Specifically, it will also help the Goans to travel back to their natives and go back to work wherever they are doing, but it will also help specifically foreign tourists to connect to Goa directly. So I think that will go a long way. As far as domestic is concerned, I think especially on the star category they have done excellent business, especially on the wedding front, on event front, and the ARR, that is average room rent, is one of the being the highest. And it is not only phenomena in Goan phenomena, it is throughout India the hotel rates have gone up, and it has benefited the industry overall. Add to that, with MOPA starting in, we have got very good connection tier 2, tier 3, tier city into Goa. So specifically the connection which were not there earlier, now guests can come directly into Goa using that frequency, like from Calicut, then from Dehradun is started, Rajkot you have started, Baroda is starting the flight directly, then you have from Nasik, of course Nagpur and all those were there, Chandigarh, all those were there. So basically more and more from Raipur they are starting, Lucknow they are starting, Varanasi they are starting. So now with this tier 2, tier 3, tier starting into direct flights into Goa, the domestic front it is going to increase. Add to that, we have Tejas train which has started, which is fast express, and tomorrow we are going to start Vande Bharat. With 6 to 7 hours flight into Goa, by train into Goa, it is going to be excellent. Add to that, Gadkari ji just made the announcement that Goa Bombay you can reach in 6 hours. So if he said I think less than 6 hours,
4 to 5
hours. So assuming it will take 6 hours or 6.5 hours, can we imagine the type of traffic which can come in by road? It will be a growth movement, it will be a boom movement for overall industry is concerned. Of course, one aspect is, can we handle so many tourists?
I was going to ask you that. Yes. Do we
coming
have
into
the infrastructure? Do we
infrastructure.
have the rooms? Do we
Now,
have the...
basically, as a TTAG, we are talking to government to have that analysis done, that how many have applied for new hotel licenses, means for under construction. So there are different departments like TCP and other department needs to collaborate and bring it on the table, that by X we'll have so many room number added, by so much time we'll have so much. So that will help us in future planning. Add to that, there are many PPP projects under GTDC property which has gone, which is upgradation into 5-star. They have been stuck in
For quite some time, like,
quite some time.
2
So,
years, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years.
government is trying to have some, for various reasons, but I hope there should be some way out into completing, because that will help ultimately into adding up the room. Now today, we cannot call them cheap tourist or XYZ tourists. We have to, all tourists are having money. Let's be very, when they move out of their state, that means unless they have money, nobody is going to move out.
Indians are like that, yes.
So if you see specifically to address, say, casinos, you see the type of crowd coming in. It may they wear with their local dress and they come. That doesn't mean they don't have money. They have money. That's why they are coming there and playing the games whichever are there. So they have money. That's why they are coming. So we have to change our attitude. It is not question of cheap tourists. We have to talk about, we require well-behaved tourists, because what has been lacking right now is that rule of law has not been followed, and unfortunately the people who follow the rules have been targeted.
Absolutely.
So we need to have the clear-cut policy on that. Secondly, the friendliness. The biggest problem Goa which is facing right now is the friendliness. Like tourists specifically, it may go to village or anywhere, is looked down upon by Goans. Now if that is going to happen, I think let's be very clear, we are asking for a doom.
Big trouble.
Goa,
big trouble.
the biggest plus I have always been talking about, or I am completed 3 decades in the industry, I always said Goa will remain a tourist destination because of the people, because of the friendliness we have. But if we are going to lose that crux of it, then I think we are asking for trouble. And if you go to see, we are seeing that at each aspect. Okay, what has been happening is, we see the lot of outside players, means the migrant crowd coming in and basically spoiling that friendliness which we Goans have. So what we are saying is, suppose agent in Delhi has booked a group of say 40 people, his bus coach is booked, his hotels are booked. When he comes here, they sit in the coach, and once they are there going for sightseeing in particular area, if they go, the guys will come inside and they will show that we have to pay minimum X amount. We are losing on commission because everything is pre-booked, so you have to pay us 200 rupees into 10,000 rupees to live.
I see.
Now,
They do that after
happening.
the booking?
Absolutely. Now this has been happening not with one incident, but 2 incidents, 3 incidents, which have just yesterday we had our meeting, wherein the members bought into that our notice, which is
Ridiculous.
scary.
Ridiculous.
So we are moving towards Mafia Raj. We to look into it. Now we are talking about touts. We still see them
Everywhere.
everywhere we go. There are some other accusations that this one has asked money, this one has. See, basically, one thing is very clear: the state has to be run by the laws, rules, and regulations. Now, even we talk about, every time we talk about policing, that friendliness is not there. Many listen, and we see they are more interested into stopping a tourist vehicle to make it buck. Any other state you go, we don't see this type of thing. Now, if this is going to continue, I think it is not good for tourism per se, because one thing we have to understand, the neighboring states are
exactly. I was about to interrupt you and saying
copying
that.
our policies.
Yes.
And if you go to see the neighboring Malvan, like especially on the water sports front, it is cheaper for them to pick up from Goa, take them there,
and bring them back.
then doing it in Goa. So I think, I don't know what in Goa, what we are up to. It is it's very difficult to analyze for me, But if way it continues, I think sustainability will be a challenging time.
Yes, let me interrupt you slightly on this. Now, you spoke about this, the way tourists are being targeted, vehicles, bikes, all that. Now, one thing I have noticed, now you find these people in uniform, 8, 9, 10 of them catching these tourists at X, Y, Z points. The rest of the state, the people see the way the people are riding on the roads of Goa. Reckless, they don't know the rules, they don't know X, they don't know Y, nothing, they just ride, they overtake from this side, overtake. The cops are supposed to be hitting on these reckless and the accidents are happening all, that nobody cracks down on. They just want to catch some, like people, families with helmets, stop the 7, 8 of them, scare them, take them at the side. Now that is something that has to be, you all have to bring this up with the government also. No?
It's not that I feel there somewhere we are missing the link, because as a state, what are our priorities we need to decide specifically as far as.
So we know what our priorities are. We need to.
No, but basically, action means it has to be where it is required. It cannot be what you call just for sake of doing it. Now they have done a full camera wherein you see the violence, the violation which has been come. There are almost, I think,
400,
500, I think more than that in first day itself. So basically, that means it was getting unnoticed. It was there and they were not noticing specifically, which was required to. So I think we need to correct on that. And secondly, the people per se has to understand that tourism is a main economy of Goa. It is a main circular economy of Goa. It may just give you, say, 17 or 18% of GDP of Goa. But in circular economy it comes more, and it is the highest employer generating in Goa. So if we are going to kill that golden egg giving goose, I think where jobs will come in Goa from Goa.
Okay, I have a small interjection so as to say on this issue. Now a large number, a lot of our tourists come to the coastal belt, right? That is something. Now hinterland tourism, government is talking, but nothing much has happened besides a few homestays by some people. But most of the businesses on the coastal belt are not controlled by Goans. These touts are not Goans, and the is it that because of that the control is not there by our law enforcement? What you feel by law enforcement agencies? Because it's easier to take bribes from somebody who is not a Goan than a Goan. Now, for example, if you and me, somebody asks for money, we might say okay, but then we'll go and make a big noise. But these guys, no, they give the bag.
So problem is,
but see, what I'm saying is that this attitude, short-term attitude of our tip of the spear implementing agencies, as well as the governments, and the people at the lower government, I don't think the top level government wants this. They are at a different level. But if this is not cracked down, we are going to have a problem, don't you think?
Yes, I agree to that extent. But what has happened? We Goans are himself to be blamed. Like shacks.
30% sublet to people
so
from
after getting it, you see same guys for years together.
Yes.
Now, if you are going to do that, then you know that your purpose is lost. And this we are seeing at each level. So basically, with that, what is happening is like even for that matter, taxi issue or something. Why it cannot be resolved? I fail to understand.
We've been talking today, I think,
every time we talk on this issue. Now, government they have their own app of Goa Miles. They need to promote that more
and protest that.
Yes, and because it gives you a good what you call pricing, and it ultimately customer is the king. Customer benefits. Of course, Goa government also has come with the Goa taxi app. So they must be add and they should promote. But ideally would have been open up for everyone. Let whoever wants to come. I'm not saying X, Y, Z, Ola, Uber, or anybody else come. Let them come. Because today technology, now we are talking about this small technology. Now with that AI and the GT type chat coming in, can you imagine the type of challenges which we will face? But with the challenges, lot of opportunities will come in. So we should be focusing on the new gen thing rather than hampering on the things which are challenging, and we are talking every time on the same story. Now if things continue, what will happen is, now after COVID is over, neighboring states have opened.
Everything is opened up.
Neighboring countries
have opened up. Exactly.
And people will start moving. Like that is going to be a biggest deterrent. Like in Goa, in the month of May, we had a comparatively less number of tourists. One of the reason was high airfare. Now with Go Air, Go First
Out of thing,
is
yeah.
out of going all straight away 10% of inventory,
Down,
10
down.
to 15% of inventory into Goa itself
Out,
has
yes.
come down. So pricing has gone down.
Down.
So it is going to affect overall the people who are planning come to Goa.
See now, coming to Goa and going to a place like Vietnam where per person rate is a 50-60,000 is, I think when you come to Goa it's like almost double if you come
Yes,
at
like
that level.
people have been
4-star,
paying to
5-star.
going to Delhi 23,000, 24,000
Exactly.
one way.
Correct.
So basically, still people are coming. So one positive side is that people want to still come, but then I think we cannot lie on our laurels. We have to work towards the things and try to correct the things which are required.
Mhm.
So unless we do that, we are going to asking for trouble. And I think that everything, that simple thing which we need
The
to
basics,
correct,
the basics.
which we need to correct.
Mm.
Government, it's not that government is aware of it, they are trying their best, but ultimately I think we as a people need to understand that it's for our survival, we need to do this, and we have to work towards it. Rather than every time saying that government has to do this, government has to implement, I understand all those things, but ultimately if I want my business to continue, the certain things which in my hand, I need to have a control over it and see that I implement that for my survival. Because unless we do start having proactive approach towards the tourism, I think we will suffer in long run.
Absolutely, I agree, because ultimately, like as I always say, ultimately for Goans this is a big business. Now people are coming from outside because it is a business, but if the Goans are not willing to do business in their own place, then where are they going to? And it's not that we have built this state for us. It has come to us from upar wale se, and this USP, all that. So we also have to do our part for tourism to sustain, right?
Sustain, because what is happening is the sustainability is going to be big challenge.
Going to be
Now,
a big
what is
thing.
other aspect which is the many times with that I don't know, we call it over tourism or whatever. I think rather than over tourism, it is the type of the approach which is coming, like the type of that entertainment which is coming, which is affecting more. Like if X is operating business here, it is his right, nobody else who can do it. Like we have seeing that in that mining, that truck issue, which I don't know, I've got deep into it.
Yeah.
But that entertainment, so if somebody is operating, suppose boat in Kandolim, nobody else can do it, only I will do it. Donapal, only I will do it. Here, nobody else can do it. Now, that type of approach, where the youngsters will go?
And if there's no competition, then no service, nothing.
Absolutely. So there has to be rule of law rather than just approach of high-handedness and getting the few who have it get it. So there has to be correct policy. Like even the shacks, like on the ease of doing business, we requested the government. They said that with just municipality or panchayat license, and if it's legal, you can get the license. Balance licenses they have to procure in 1 year. It may be fire, it will be health, it will be pollution, but those licenses need to come. Now, if you are not going to get that licenses, you are asking for trouble. So basically, even that mindset needs to be changed, that we have to follow the rules and regulations. And of course, the department also has to understand that they have to give in time. What has been happening is they are just prolonging things up, and then they have suffered a big time with this checks closure, with the High Court structure on that. So I think we need to understand that if we go where we are going it, what has happened to shacks when they have been closed. There are so many hotels which have been sealed. Now those will become a regular affair if you don't follow the rules and regulations, and the overall tourism will suffer, and the people who are working with the bread and butter, they will suffer big time. So I think we need to correct that, and we have to see that the things we look into right perspective and take it forward.
But the number of rooms, like for the type of tourism that is coming in right now, there are basically no rooms are not there, and if projected, so much of projected, even if we hit pre-COVID levels with this type of tourism today, there's not going to be place. People will be sleeping on the roads. Is this what is
basically
good?
What is happening is it's not that rooms are available, the pricing
Not
is
available.
but now we have so many villas which have also come in, so that has also picked up. So basically, you'll have that level playing field coming in, but it triggers just one negative thing for tourism to go into the backward.
Negative backspin.
So it is a good situation what you're talking about to as a tourism to have it for that people are coming, people are even ready to spend more. Everybody is making money.
No, but there's a limit to spending more, no?
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
we need to have, and we have to increase our standard. We have to increase our service level, bar of our service level. I think which we seeing it's deteriorating. Type
Exactly.
of harassment which is happening. So once will comes. Next I said गोवा में नहीं जाने. गोवा में ऐसा cheating बहुत होता है. गोवा में ये होता है. So basically looking into all those things, I think we are asking for trouble if we don't change our attitude. We don't correct ourselves, and we feel we are indispensable. Nobody is indispensable. No market is indispensable. If we don't correct, I think be ready. It may be a domestic tourist or international tourist shift to other markets. So to retain our market share and get more tourists or continuous tourists where we are getting it, I think we need to do the things right and follow the rules and regulations. And it is not only for the industry to follow the rules and regulation, tourists also need to do the rules and regulation, and the government also has to look into right perspective of handling things up, or punishing the people who are doing wrong.
Guilty. Not
The
just
problem-
anybody
yes, so
on the
problem
road.
is the touts which they talk about, but we see them continuously.
Now you're talking about touts, Nilesh. You go to the Panjim bus stand in the morning. One of these tourism department, when the cops should go, the minute the buses come, there'll be guys from all these Chimbal area and all coming. Come here, come here.
Yes, so-
Now you tell me, is it the police, CID, all these tourism department? They don't know what's going on. Of course they do.
And it is easy to control.
Very
it's not that
simple.
very. It's simple is that you give batches to everyone, train them up compulsory, and only batch guys are allowed to go there. Even if I understand that everybody has a stomach to fill.
Correct.
But have the system, give them batches. So if anybody is complaining, they can just take that batch number and make a complaint. So there has to be system in place. What unfortunately what is happening is we have grown business, everything. So now what we are, as I told you, entitlement and the rowdyism is coming in the industry, and that gundaism is coming. That it is this area, it is mine, that area is yours. Now this way, if we are going to work tourism, I think
The communist system, like all these people, you
yes,
cannot
so-
cross from this side to that side.
So I think we are like already in taxi it was happening. Now
yeah.
it is happening in the other
Part.
sectors of tourism. I think which we need to correct. Government is trying to having the marketing tie-ups with other states for promotion. They did very good road show with promoting, with specifically targeting the Asian fraternity in that 4 countries. So they are trying to go promote, and
Awesome.
getting exploring new markets. But industry is also trying. But then if this goes side by side, I think.
Yeah, see, listen, now the thing is you're trying to get more people, but first you have to sort out your issues here, which are not very big, right? They are very basic issues. Small foundation, those small issues like implementation of the law, now people drinking on the streets, harassing somebody here, both sides, whether it is locals or this, or the tourists harassing the locals, and if these basic big things are this, then if you ensure that there is service in the restaurants and all that, these basic things are ensured, I think it shouldn't be more than that, no?
And basically, I think, and it is possible.
It's very possible. It's
So
very
it is that,
possible.
what we
Doable,
require to do is
100%.
that, enforcement agencies has to be there. And what the
Enforcement
government
have to do the
what
job.
I'm saying, government can do up to particular. But then, what I've been saying is that, I mean, Wajeda, with the tourists coming in, of course, it has it's not for the reason or every time wrong reason, but then if this continues, I think then that our image as
Will
a
go
tourist
down.
friendly state.
But this
will be-
NGO thing also has become a little, means people are, NGOs become like a business. Not everybody, some are doing a good job, but it's here it's become like, it's like another business.
and people staying abroad making the comments here.
Yeah.
So
That is-
so you need to stay here to understand
And do some
how we are
business
going to get
here
our
as well.
livelihood.
Correct. And do some business here, no? Instead of doing the
Yes,
why you are
but,
making so much of money.
That is a different
Invest.
topic altogether. But what I am trying to want to make it very clear that we have to get our acts together
Correct.
for the sustainability of tourism, because if tourism needs to sustain, then we have to plug in the gaps which we are having. And it's not great science or rocket science to understand what are things required. Everybody knows what are required to be done, but then those things needs to be implemented
Absolutely.
by the government, by the industry, by the people who are
involved.
directly, indirectly, or with the circular economy which is helping them to survive, and of course tourists also. So I
Okay.
think if that goes, it can go long way into bringing that vibrancy and that sustainability which will take tourism to great heights in Goa.
Yeah, thanks Nilesh. This was very well put at the end. Generally, yes, it is possible, and the way it is going on, we can even do 100 times much better job. But a few basic things should be done so that this tourism remains sustainable, and locals, people who are in the business, make more than enough, than much more than what they could possibly be doing even today. Few things, basic things, simple things, very doable. I feel very possible. Nilesh Bab, thank you very much for coming on our show. And keep watching Goa 365.
Thank you, Glenn, for inviting.